Okay, Mr. Reyes, you do understand that in pleading guilty, you're giving up many of your constitutional rights. Do you understand that you have a right to a jury trial, a right to an attorney, a right to confront and cross-examine your accusers, and the most important right against self-incrimination? Do you understand those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and also need to inform you that a Class A misdemeanor carries a maximum penalty of a fine not to exceed $4,000 plus 1 year in jail or both, plus court costs. And so with that information, do you still wish to plead guilty?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I told you about your rights and the rights that you've waived. And you understand that you're giving your rights up freely and voluntarily, and you'll answer any questions that the prosecuting attorney may have for you today while you're under oath.
Okay.
And you do understand that your testimony might tend to prove your guilt in this case.
Yes, ma'am.
You still desire, it's still your desire to plead guilty and continue.
I'll plead guilty.
Okay, if you'll just raise your right hand. In this case before the court, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Jones, is there a plea agreement?
Yes, upon defendant's plea of guilty, upon the court's finding the evidence substantiates his guilt, the state would recommend that he be adjudged guilty, sentenced to serve 30 days confinement in the county jail. However, that sentence would be suspended for a period of 6 months. He'd be placed on community supervision, assessed a fine of $1,000 plus court costs, ordered to pay a reasonable and customary probation fee in the amount of $60 per month. Also, that during the term of probation, an ignition interlock device will be required on any vehicle that he drives, and the traffic fine of $6,000 will be probated for the same 6 months. Also, in connection with the agreement, the state, I'm sorry, there's not another case. I'd ask that Ms. Molinax confirm the terms of the agreement and tender her client.
That is correct, Your Honor, and I would tender my client.
Mr. Reyes, you were present in the courtroom and heard me announce your agreement with the state, correct?
Yes, sir.
Did I accurately state your agreement?
Yes, sir.
Is that the agreement you want the court to approve today?
Yes, sir.
All right. I have a document that's entitled Court's Written Plea Admonitions to the Defendant. It's marked as State's Exhibit 1 and appears to have your signature. Did you, in fact, sign that document?
Sure did. Yes, sir.
Before you signed it, did you read and understand the contents of State's Exhibit 1?
Yes, sir.
And if you had any questions, you were able to ask those of your counsel, Ms. Molinax, and she was able to answer those to your satisfaction, correct?
Yes, sir.
Did anyone threaten to do anything unlawful to you to get you to sign State's Exhibit 1?
No, sir.
Did anyone promise you anything other than the agreement I've announced in open court to get you to sign this document?
No, sir.
All right. Did you understand that contained within this document is a judicial admission by you to what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And when you signed that and you pled and you admitted guilt, did you do so freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading guilty in this case, sir, because you are in fact guilty of what you've been charged with and for no other reason?
Yes, sir.
All right. After our discussion today, is it still your desire to plead guilty and have the court approve the agreement?
Okay.
Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And is there anything that's gone on or been said today that you do not understand and need to have explained to you?
No, I understand, sir.
All right. Thank you, sir. I'll pass the witness.
All right. Thank you.
I have no questions.
Ask that States 1 be admitted.
No objection.
So admitted.
State rests.
Defense rests and close.
We close.
Okay, Mr. Reyes, let me again call your attention to that document that Mr. Jones went over with you labeled State's Exhibit 1. And you testified that you and your attorney went over that document, that you understand the contents of that document and the rights that you waived.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you signed the document, correct?
That's correct. Yes, ma'am.
And you understand upon signing that, that was an admission of guilt on your part to the offense that you're charged with.
Yes, ma'am.
Was there any pressure put on you to sign that document?
No.
Were you promised any special favors?
No.
Are you telling the court that you entered into this agreement with the state freely and voluntarily?
Yes, ma'am.
And you heard Mr. Jones announce the plea agreement. Is that your agreement and your understanding?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you asking the court to approve that agreement?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Mr. Reyes, the court will accept your plea of guilty. I do believe that you entered into that plea freely and voluntarily. It's a further finding of the court that you are guilty of the offense as charged, and your punishment is assessed at 30 days in the county jail. However, I will probate that sentence, place you on probation for a period of 6 months, assess a fine of $1,000, court cost of $385, a court-appointed attorney fee of $350, and a monthly supervision fee of $60. So your total monthly payment is $407. Are you financially able to make that payment each month?
Yes. Kind of payments. I mean, if I could make partial payments here and there, because I live by myself and I pay my rent of $700 a month and all my bills included. So
Are you working?
yes, ma'am.
Okay. Well, the probation department's going to give you some instructions. Of course,
Okay.
that amount's going to need to be paid, but if you pay that out, say once a week or whatever your arrangements are, that's totally fine if that's good with the probation department. So they will visit with you about those things. It's just that by the time the end of your probation rolls around, that total has to be paid in full.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Do you have any questions?
So and about the interlock, do I got to start it over? Because I have already had it since I caught the DWI. I've had it for a year.
And it's still on your vehicle?
Yes, ma'am.
I just leave it on there then if you've already got one installed.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Hold on.